Hi, my name's Spence, and I'm going to answer your most frequently asked questions about busking.
Spence's Club.
Do you want to know what the number one most frequently asked question about busking is? Drum roll, please. That's right, it's how much can I earn? Or when I get asked it, how much do you earn? Well, it's one of those questions. It's like, how long is a piece of string? How much is a house? It varies really on a lot of things, on a hell of a lot of things. I can only speak from my own experience as a vocalist and a guitarist, the kind of guy that does do a lot of covers, but I also play my own music as well. I play, sometimes I use an effects pedal, but I don't tend to use much else than that. I don't use the looping. I haven't got multi instruments. I don't use backing tracks. So that's my act. Obviously, different people do different acts. That has a big impact on your earnings. So I might talk a bit more about that, about other acts in a bit, but I'll just tell you from my own experience what is possible or what has been possible for me. And there's several factors involved in that. So the first factor is location, location, location. And that is very important. People, there is a kind of school of thought that if you play, then they will come, and obviously that's not right, is it? Because if you played out in the middle of nowhere, then no one's going to hear you. So that's an extreme example, but basically, what you will need to do is, Spence, just get to the point and tell me how much you can earn. Well, no, I'm not going to do that right now because I need to tell you before I just give you a figure and you run off and go, well, Spence told me I can earn this much. I need to sort of back that up with a bit of sort of a preamble so you understand that what I'm telling you is what works for me might not work for your act. But if you're similar to me, if you're a guy, a vocalist and a guitarist, and you live near big cities, you've got a good repertoire of cover versions and your own stuff, you're fairly practiced, you're competent at what you do, you regularly get compliments, genuine compliments from people when you play, that they think your songs are good or your voice is good or your guitaring's good. Basically, you don't suck really badly, because that's the other thing. You need to have an honest appraisal of your talents. This doesn't apply to everyone. You can't. Not anyone can just go out and busk and make money, because it really depends on your abilities as well. There's so many variables involved. So that's why I'm trying to give you the background on this, because it's such an answer that needs all those factors involved to get to the right figure, which I'll come to in a minute. So if you're an act like me, you can play for, you've got a good repertoire, you sound okay, you sound good. So when I first started my first year, I averaged £15 per hour. Now that's the figure. Now that doesn't mean that every time I go out I earn £15. Sometimes it means I earn a lot more than that, and I have earned a lot more than that per hour. I've earned up to £50, £60 per hour, and as little as £8 or £9 an hour. And it rarely sort of goes below that, really, for me, unless I'm in a terrible place, in a terrible spot, which I'll come to in a minute. I'll talk to you a bit more about where you can busk, or where the best places to busk, in another video. I will answer that question in another video because it's a matter on its own. So the answer to that is, in my own experience, I can average, and that's an average. It can often be a lot higher than that, and it can sometimes be underneath that, but not by a lot. I average £15 per hour. Now, obviously, that depends on how many hours you busk per day. And of course, I will tell you, and I'll let you know how you can improve that average by choosing the right location, choosing the right time of day, and choosing the right songs. They all come into it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is the #1 question that people want to know. It's the #1 answer I've given you, and it's based on my experience alone. Other buskers might have a different average to me, but that's fine. I've been doing this 3 years. So again, that's a kind of another way of deciding whether the average works for you. If you've been playing all your life, if you're a master at your instrument, then obviously that's going to be a lot different to someone like myself, who although has been playing and singing a lot longer than 3 years, has only been professional musician for the last 3 years. So there you go. You've got to factor that in as well. And again, likewise, if you're just basically starting out, you've just learned 2 or 3 chords and a couple of songs, then obviously that's going to have a different effect on your earnings as well, because it does make a difference to your earnings, your ability. I do think it levels off. I think even if you're a grandmaster at something, you can still only reach a certain ceiling, and that's been proven. There's that famous video clip of the world's most famous violin guy. Sorry, I can't remember his name. I'm not into classical music as such, but he played in a subway and he made $35 or $40 in 45 minutes or something like that, which is pretty good anyway. But basically people were just walking past him and ignoring it, really, even though he's probably one of the best violinists in the world and playing a £3.5 million violin. So again, you can argue, well, I could make that the same amount of money as him without the skill and the equipment and the talent as he has, and the actual time spent learning. So I think there's a limit to how much your skill can equal earnings, and also it depends on where he was playing as well. Now, if he'd played somewhere else, if he played in a different location, he would have probably quadrupled his income. Now, they don't factor on things like that because a lot of people don't know about that. But I'm telling you this, I'm educating you on the themes of busking, and all this is very secret. A lot of buskers won't tell you all this stuff because they don't want you to know it, because they want to keep it a secret. They don't want you getting all the best spots. They don't want you making more money than them. Okay, they don't want the competition. We want to scare people away, really. We don't want more buskers, because less competition. It means less. It means more competition. It means less spots available. Anyway, so that is the answer to the most frequently asked question I get personally about busking, and that was, how much do you earn? And the short answer was £15 per hour, and that's an average, depending on location, songs, time of day, time of the month. And I'll talk about all that in another video. So if you want to know more, and you want to know more how you can increase that hourly rate, and how you can even get up to that hourly rate if you're not on that hourly rate, then stay tuned, subscribe below, and please share these videos if you like them, and if you're getting something out of them, or if you just want to keep them to yourself, keep the secrets to yourself, that's cool as well. But just make sure you subscribe. Thank you. See you on the next one. Spence's Blog.